Ted Cruz's rival, Colin Allred, has been endorsed by every major newspaper in Texas, and Ted is freaking out about it.
Imagine being a U.S. senator and having all your state's biggest newspapers come out against you, basically all at once, while you're running for re-election. That is the dream that Senator Ted Cruz has been living over the past few days. As of this weekend, all 5 of the biggest newspapers in Texas have endorsed Ted Cruz's Democratic opponent, Colin Allred. And we could call that the biggest embarrassment suffered by a senator at the hands of his home state newspapers in some time.
Ted Cruz is too small for Texas. I've been endorsed by every major editorial board in our state. We had a debate the other night where, I think I exposed him for what he is. We are working right now and seeing already, fantastic early voting turnout. And we don't have to have a senator who goes to Cancun when we need them most, or who takes away a fundamental right from Texas women.
I'm getting pounded every day. We had a poll just come out yesterday, showed it as a 1-point race, and we're getting viciously outspent. And so I'm so appreciative of your viewers going to tedcruz.org, tedcruz.org, and contributing $25, $50, $100, maybe somebody giving $500 or $1,000. But go to tedcruz.org, because when you've got $100 million, wild-eyed liberals that want to buy Texas.
He honestly looks like he hasn't even slept since his disastrous debate, where he literally had to be told not to laugh when being asked about January 6th.
Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who rumor has it is a pretty decent debater himself. Senator, it's great to see you. I know you served in the Senate with Harris. Are you surprised that she's just terrible at these interviews after all this time?
I'm not. Congress didn't throw its hands up and say, you know what? CNN demanded that I accept the results no matter what, so ignore the fraud. I got to go. But hold on. What did Congress do in 1876?
How did the president handle it?
What did Congress do in 1876?
Senator, I have to know, you can't answer yes or no to this question.
I'm asking a question. What did Congress do in 1876?
You can't answer yes or no to this question. And Republicans,
can you answer my question? Why are you refusing to answer my question?
I'm conducting the interview with all due respect, Senator. And let me ask you, it's Republicans have twisted themselves in knots. It's just a yes or no question.
I'm not twisting myself. I'm answering your question. You just don't like my answer.
And what's your answer? Is it yes or is it no?
So in 1876, what Congress did is it appointed an election commission. It consisted of 15 people. 5 House members, 5 senators, 5 Supreme Court justices. The Election Commission was charged with studying the evidence and making a determination of what voter fraud occurred, and that determined the winner. And what I called for in 2020 was to do the same thing, appoint an election commission, and 11 senators joined me.
Senator, with all due respect, after it had been thrown out of many courts, after the Attorney General Bill Barr, because there was no basis for those court cases.
No, so that's actually
Senator,
not.
With all due respect,
you asked me a question. Do you want me to answer it?
And you didn't answer the question.
Yes, I did.
Court cases were thrown out.
Hold on a
The Attorney
second.
General said there was no widespread fraud. You're not clearly answering the question. I want to thank you for that.
What question am I not? I'm answering every question.
Do you believe Ukraine meddled in the American election in 2016?
I do, and I think there's considerable evidence.
You do? You do?
Yes,
look,
and Chuck, let me say.
This is, Senator, this sort of strikes me as odd, because you went through a primary campaign with this president. He launched a birtherism campaign against you. He went after your faith. He threatened to, quote, spill the beans about your wife about something. He pushed a National Enquirer story, which we now know he had a real relationship
Chuck,
with the editors of the National Enquirer.
Up all that garbage.
Senator,
that's very kind of you.
Let me ask you this. Is it not possible that this president is capable of creating a false narrative about somebody in order to help him politically?
In Obergefell, the court said, no, we know better than you guys do, and now every state must sanction and permit gay marriage. I think that decision was clearly wrong when it was decided. It was the court overreaching.
More fossil fuels! 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 No, you just got to here in DC.
No, you cannot take my place.
Why not? You're not supposed to be here.
I gotta say, Orlando is awesome. It's not as nice as Cancun. But it's nice. What are the stakes of this election? Look, we all know what happens if it's a good election. If Trump wins, if we win Republican control of the Senate and the House, we will turn this country around. But what if, God forbid, Kamala Harris becomes president? What if Democrats win the Senate and the House? Today's podcast breaks down the negative stakes of this election. Kamala Harris is promising to end the filibuster. What does that mean? This podcast explains exactly what the filibuster is and what Chuck Schumer and the Democrats would do if they end the filibuster, if they have power. It would be, and this is not hyperbole, the end of the republic, the end of America as we know it. The podcast today, Verdict with Ted Cruz, breaks down exactly what Chuck Schumer would do. He has 49 votes. He needs one more for irreparable damage to America.
And I love this story, and so I'm going to read it to you. Sam I am. That Sam I am, that Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. Would you like them here or there? I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am.
Well, they don't like you, Ted. Not a lot of people do. He is primarily known these days for preventing bills from passing and generally holding things up. But he's been trying to soften his image and present himself all of a sudden as a moderate, which is laughable. So much so that even his own colleagues are actually laughing at him. Per the New York Times, when Ted Cruz actually managed to protect a bill rather than derailing it, Mitt Romney allegedly said, "It's been fantastic. I love it." While Ted Cruz is trying to paint Colin Allred as some sort of extreme liberal, Colin Allred is just reminding everybody that Ted Cruz is a loser. And Ted has given the Democratic Party plenty of ammunition in that area over the years. The Texas debate, that just reminded everybody of how vulnerable Ted Cruz is as a candidate. And early voting has already started in Texas as of October 21st. And by the way, preliminary data suggests that almost 12% more people voted on the first day this time around than they did in 2020. Now, fingers crossed, this is finally the time that we get to see the back of everybody's least favorite senator.
Could you, would you, with a goat?
Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.